change right now, I would hope that people are thinking about how we brand the first black woman who has ever been Vice President of the United States. And interestingly enough, last week also is the first black woman who is the acting president of the United States, because there was those, few minutes there when Biden had to have a procedure and went under, and so she was in charge. But that's a really big deal, and we're not talking about the big deals. We're not talking about the big deals. And that's why I wanted to spend some time talking about those big deals with you this evening. Because as a black woman who has been in, very tiny positions at first, but in leadership positions nonetheless, in those hearings, we want you to be our Cape Crusader. That's what we love so much about you. And we need that from you right now. So as this transition happens, we're going to continue to follow all the new staff coming in and out, and we're going to continue better job at acknowledging and highlighting all of the policy work that's happening in and out of and around Washington, and certainly that includes the things that are coming out of the Vice President's office. So y'all hold me to that. I'll be back after this break. We're going to talk about some more fun stuff.
Our goal is to cover everything that's trending in Black America. Sometimes you'll be watching a story on Will
yeah, I keep it moving, yeah, I'ma keep it moving. I keep it moving, yeah. Watch the way I keep it moving.
When we see lives being transformed, when we see the happiness and healing those pets bring to so many, we can't imagine life without them. While we're proud of our long history of saving pets, we're not the same Arizona Humane Society we were. Our new life-saving programs are redefining the very notion of the word humane. We have one purpose: to save lives.
There's so many gifts in here, I don't even know where to start.
Watch this, Mom.
Alexa, turn on holiday lights.
This year, give the gift of technology in every Buick SUV. Current eligible Buick owners get $47.50 purchase allowance on 2021 Buick Enclave models when you finance through GM Financial.
Out, because when you find the perfect home, you don't want to lose it to anybody else. So here's how our verified approval helps to make sure that won't happen. Rocket Technology provides a rock-solid verification of your income, assets, and credit, giving sellers and their agents greater confidence in you and your offer. Rocket Mortgage even enables you to customize your verified approval. And for 8 years in a row, they've also ranked us highest in the nation for mortgage servicing. So, when you need the speed, ease, and confidence to buy the home that's right for you, Rocket can. Visit rocketmortgage.com or call us today. Rocket.
Welcome back to Amplified. Now, if you're watching this show, you know all about the supply chain issues and labor shortages because we talk about them quite a bit. But what you may not realize is how these ongoing issues could impact your plans for the holidays. BNC correspondent Walter Morris reports.
Well, officials with the U.S. Postal Service say that 2 weeks before Christmas are the busiest time of year. But thanks to supply chain issues and more fallout from the pandemic, some experts say if you haven't finished your holiday shopping already this year, it may be too late. Of course, Black Friday is traditionally the peak time for holiday shopping, but experts say this year, buyers beware. It's going to take longer for items to arrive, and they will cost you more. Unfortunately, there are a few factors at play here that are slowing things down and driving prices up. More Americans are shopping online, and thanks to ongoing backups at ports and other delays caused by supply chain issues, there are less products available, which means the available items are more expensive. Experts say this also causes ripple effects with shipping, which means you may not be able to rely on estimated delivery times even when you pay more for expedited shipping. So some experts recommend thinking outside the box when it comes to gift giving this year.
It is not a blip. This is going to get bigger and worse. And ultimately, you've got to take care of the money that you have. You've got to take care of your finances. So maybe this time, I'm actually saying to my family members, give gift cards, but also maybe make something. Maybe go back to what Christmas and the holidays were about and actually, make a cake or give of yourself. But watch your money, because this is not going to get better. This is not a one-time blip.
And if you are planning on mailing something, the Postal Service recommends you get it in the mail by December 15th for it to arrive by Christmas, but that is only for domestic shipping. Reporting in Los Angeles, I'm Walter Morris for BNC.
Well, you heard it here. If you are planning to buy anything online and have it shipped to anybody, including yourself, you might want to go on ahead and do that right now. I was just in a couple of stores this weekend, and I was actually surprised at how it looked like it was already, that shopping holiday after Thanksgiving. It looked like it was already Black Friday out there on the shelves. Things were gone. And I'm not sure if they were actually gone because people were buying them or if they just hadn't actually come in because of the shortage. But I'm with the woman that we just heard from. I think that gift cards are the way to go. That and vacations, because we all really could use a good vacate right now. So maybe that's the plan. Save all your money, stop buying tchotchkes, and just book yourself a flight. That could actually be a better way to spend this holiday season. Don't call it a comeback. But when it comes to holiday travel, it sure looks like we're getting back to the pre-pandemic levels of this. The crazy gas prices aren't keeping people off the road, and AAA says that airports are already seeing a surge in travelers. Hopefully that'll be me. BNC correspondent Astrid Martinez went to Philadelphia International Airport to see for herself.
Major airports across the country already experiencing a major holiday travel rush. TSA screened 2.2 million passengers on Friday alone. That's the highest number since early 2020. But the huge increase in travelers expected for Thanksgiving is not the only holiday concern.
I'm not worried about gathering because we're going to keep it very small.
This Thanksgiving week, travelers will once again pack roads, trains, and airports, making their way to visit loved ones for Thanksgiving.
I thought I wasn't going to be able to come home this year. It's kind of stressful because I feel like you're stuck in your little COVID bubble and the 4 or 5 people that you meet and see, but I want to see my mom.
While the airline industry has been struggling to keep up due to labor shortages, travelers at Philadelphia International Airport hope flying early will help their trips go smoothly.
I'm coming out of Orlando because we're one of the largest tourist areas. It's always extremely busy, but that's why I'm leaving early so that I won't have to really deal with all of the hustle and bustle.
Holiday travel this year is expected to rebound to almost pre-pandemic levels. According to AAA, more than 53 million people are traveling this year for Thanksgiving. More than 20 million passengers are expected to travel by air, and 48 million Americans are expected to hit the road.
I mean, I'm hanging out with my family. They all live in San Diego, so it's kind of like a tight-knit bubble. I'm a teacher, so it's kind of like I get tested every week. So I kind of had the luxury of every Friday getting to know whether I'm COVID negative or positive.
But the huge increase in travelers is not the only travel concern this week. Monday is also the deadline for federal workers to get vaccines. That includes TSA employees. Union reps say 93% of TSA employees have complied with the vaccine mandates, so they're not anticipating any travel disruptions.
I recommend everybody to get vaccinated. Everybody.
And both Delta and United Airlines say that they're expecting Sunday to be the busiest travel day since pre-pandemic times. There's also a storm headed to the northeast that is expected to cause some travel delays. At Philadelphia International Airport, I'm Astrid Martinez for BNC.
Well, it's exciting to see that people are traveling again, and more so, I'm thinking America's getting itself back on track. There is more ahead here on Amplified. Don't go anywhere. I will be right back, and I'm going to introduce you to a photographer who is changing the way that young people learn about history, and I'm also going to introduce you to a high school senior from Brooklyn who wants...
Flavor and textures. The Crunchyverse. I've never felt so small or hungry. Cheetos Crunchy. It's a Cheetos thing.
The blood test for your polycythemia vera is confirmed for tomorrow at 2.
Fluctuating blood counts, it's hard to think beyond your next test. Before another night passes, visit keepingcounts.com.
Born without borders. Tecate Alta. Low calories. Low carbs. La Cerveza Suprema. Our roots run deep and broad. We are drawn together to enjoy the best of both worlds. Tecate Alta. Low calories, low carbs, beyond expectation. Mexico is in us.
1, 2, let's go. I keep it moving, yeah. Watch how I do it, yeah. I keep it moving, yeah. I'ma keep it moving. I keep it moving, yeah. I keep it moving, yeah. Watch the way I keep it moving.
Senator Kyrsten Sinema knows that effective leadership means standing for principle and purpose. She doesn't go along with the pack just because it's politically convenient. She fights for bipartisan solutions that serve Arizonans' best interests. Infrastructure, building up Arizona, healthcare, the environment. Senator Sinema is tackling complex problems head-on and consistently doing what it takes to get the job done. We stand with Senator Sinema because she stands for and with us.
When we see lives being transformed, when we see the happiness and healing those pets bring to so many, we can't imagine life without them. While we're proud of our long history of saving pets, we're not the same Arizona Humane Society we were. Our new life-saving programs are redefining the very notion of the word humane. We have one purpose: to save lives.
For the engine, transmission, and much more can become a thing of the past. Call Protect My Car at 800-397-5434 now, before your next repair bill hits. This is total protection of your car, truck, or SUV, and less expensive repair bills, plus free oil changes, free tire rotations, and free roadside assistance. Just call 800-397-5434 now. Protect your car and your wallet. 800-397-5434.
Hi, Jimmy J.J. Walker here. If you're on Medicare, listen to this. It's the Medicare annual enrollment deadline to update your coverage and benefits for all of next year. I didn't want to miss out, so I called the 1-800 number to see what Part C benefits I could get. An actual person answered and looked up my zip code, and boom! I was offered extra benefits like dental care with extractions, fillings, dentures, transportation, and so much more, all at no additional cost. And get this! Based on my zip code, I can get $100 a month. That's $1,200 a year added to my Social Security check. I was like, dynamite! Call, check your zip code.
I called and he looked up my zip code and said I could eliminate co-pays and get expanded dental care, prescriptions, transportation, and meals covered at no extra cost.
I couldn't believe my zip code has a benefit that adds money to my Social Security check. They help me so much.
It's simple. 1, call the number on the screen. 2, the agent will check your zip code to see if you're able to eliminate co-pays, get expanded dental coverage, prescriptions, transportation, and meals. And 3, they will check to see if you're eligible for the benefit that adds money to your Social Security check every month, up to $1,700 a year. Call to check your zip code and get what you deserve.
I called to check my zip code.
I called to eliminate copays.
I called to save money.
I called to get my dental work covered.
I called to get money added to my Social Security check.
Call, check your zip code. Don't miss the deadline. Call now. It's free.
Call 1-800-970-6388. That's 1-800-970-6388 now.
Welcome back to Amplified. For years, New York has doled out more dollars per student than any other state in the nation. A closer look at census data shows that during the 2018 to 2019 school year, the Empire State invested about $25,000 per student in pre-K through 12th grade. Now, that's compared to a national average that's just hovering below $13,000 or so per student. So that's almost more than double the national average. What's really interesting about this investment is that it's so high, but what's startling is that despite the funding, the dollars haven't been dispersed proportionally. And sadly, the neediest schools where low-income kids attend are, not surprisingly, getting left behind. My next guest has firsthand experience in the New York City public school system. Brooklyn native and a high school senior, Megan Zulo hopes to channel her education into helping kids who grew up just like she did. She wants others to look at them because of their potential rather than just seeing them as another kid from the projects. Megan, welcome to Amplified, and thank you so much for being here with me. Now, in an opinion piece that you first wrote for Youth Communication magazine, which then got picked up nationally by The Nation, you eloquently contrasted your experiences in elementary school versus those in middle school. Can you start off by painting a picture for us of what your experiences in school have looked like?
I think when I was younger and I was attending a school in my neighborhood, which is a lower income neighborhood, my school did not have a library. We did not have any new books. We had broken computers. I had teachers who were in and out. Some years I had a math teacher, some years I didn't. And then I later moved into a school in a higher income neighborhood, and I had brand new books to read in my library. I had a variety of books as well. My school had laptop cards for each kid. My teachers had math books, and I always had a teacher for every subject. Even sometimes I would have multiple teachers, one for reading and one for writing.
Wow. Forgive me. I lived in Bed-Stuy for some time, and I can't believe that I just started off this conversation with you and didn't ask you where in Brooklyn you're from. General
Bed-Stuy.
Really?
I'm from Bed-Stuy.
Bed-Stuy in the house. Love it, love it. I love Bed-Stuy. You know, so it's interesting because you as a kid could immediately feel the differences in the schools. You described feeling less than while growing up. What made you feel like that?
I think it was when I transitioned into my new school, hearing everything that my classmates had in their old school, in their elementary school, compared to what I had. I didn't have like an iPhone. I had a very old Android. I only got a new pair of sneakers once a year. My school supplies, like I had colorful pencils, but everybody else was using mechanic pencils, and I wasn't. When I would sit down and have conversations with people, it made me look down on myself, which is what caused me to feel less than.
I heard you say that you sometimes had a teacher or multiple teachers. Was that not your experience in elementary school?
No. I specifically remember some years in elementary school, I had a teacher just for math. And then halfway through the year, I no longer had that teacher. And then the next year, I didn't have one. The year after that, she was suddenly back. Everything fell upon my homeroom teacher. She taught me reading, history, math, occasionally science. And then I was in middle school and they had a teacher for every subject. They had assistants in the class. In elementary school, I had a class of 30 classmates with one teacher.
Wow. Wow. How do you think the system is holding you and other kids who grew up like you back?
I think when you don't have the opportunity to have a good education, not only does it make you doubt yourself, and it makes you nervous to pursue further education such as college because you won't feel prepared for it. It also affects you because I went into middle school and I didn't know my timetables. I was not prepared. I was good at reading and writing, but that was because I taught myself. It makes you feel like because the system doesn't see you as a good investment, you don't see yourself as a good investment. It makes you look down on yourself. You're not encouraged to go further in life. So it starts at such a young age that you carry with you like further on.
In your piece, you wrote, quote, "I don't believe a person's environment should define who they are. Living in the projects doesn't mean you are a criminal or dirty or undeserving of the same quality of education." That part stuck out to me. How are judgments like these hindering you and your fellow students from getting a better education and breaking the cycle of poverty?
As I said before, stuff like that will make you look down on yourself. It'll make you feel like you're not worthy. I remember feeling so discouraged when learning new things because the stigma was on me. I felt nervous about speaking out in class and sharing my own feelings and experiences. It really hinders you from trying to move on and trying to better yourself, because if everybody else is believing these things about you, you slowly begin to believe them about yourself.
You might have heard me when I was about to introduce you. I was saying that the New York City school system spends so much money per student, like a ton of money per student. And your experience, is that reflected in the classroom? And, you know, I'm curious, do you think that the education system in New York is setting students up for failure?
I've heard statistics like that where I included one in my piece of how much money is given. I haven't seen that. When my elementary school, we primarily were using money that we received. As I said, we didn't have a library. Versus my middle and high school, my teachers were writing grants, essays to receive grants for us to have new books. It shouldn't reach the point where schools are relying on grants to provide their students with a quality education. And it's sadly beginning to reach that point. I have seen my elementary school receive a large check of money, and I don't know where that money went. Because they're still the same. They still don't have a library. And it's sad because those are the next generation. Those students in there are going to grow up. They're going to reach my age, and some of them aren't going to get the chance to get a better education. Some of them are going to potentially just stay in the same neighborhood, go to the same quality school.
Speaking of future generations, I read that you have a plan for directly impacting future generations of students. Tell me, what do you have in store for them?
I think my teachers were some of my biggest inspirations. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for my teachers encouraging me to even submit to YC Teen to join their program. So my biggest goal is to be a teacher, and I want to encourage students. I want them to see their potential, that they can achieve things that maybe other people don't see in them and that they don't see in themselves, but I do. Everybody has the potential to achieve greatness. Sometimes you just need somebody to show you that. And it's sad that a lot of people don't have that.
That is so awesome. Any student will be lucky to have you as their teacher. Megan Zulo, thank you so much for coming on to Amplified and joining us and sharing your story. Appreciate you. My next guest is inserting children into historical events for a one-of-a-kind educational experience. You'll meet her next here on Amplified, only on BNC.
We know what you need to start your day. We're here to help you get up
and get going
with Sharon
and Mike.
Welcome to Start Your Day.
Alexa, play our favorite song.
Okay.
Will is saving big holiday shopping at Amazon. So now he's free to become Wonderland Will. Deck the halls with printer paper. Recycled, of course.
The blood test for your polycythemia vera is confirmed for tomorrow at 2.
Fluctuating blood counts, it's hard to think beyond your next test. Before another night passes, visit keepingcounts.com.
I've heard thousands of spectacular love stories in my bridal career, stories that have inspired me to create my first ever jewelry collection. Together, these rings tell the story of what we all dream of, one brilliant love.
Jared, love brilliantly.
We have taken many journeys together, and at Subaru, we will continue to help however and whenever we can. During the Subaru Share the Love event, buy or lease a new Subaru, and Subaru will donate $250 to your choice of charity. Go to SubaruSuperstoreWest.com to learn more.
Personality, your style, from Treetopia.com. And feel the love. Choose your favorite now and discover vibrant color and lighting choices for everyone. Shapes to fit any space. And details that delight. Impeccable style meets unexpected value. Thank goodness it's Black Friday. Get up to 50% off colorful trees at treetopia.com.
Your deodorant doesn't stop sweat at all. We've been there too, and we tried everything. Well, almost everything. That's why we created Carpet, scientifically engineered to see sweat from head to toe. But don't take our word for it.
This makes my life so much less slippery.
It stops the sweat every single moment of every single day.
Get dry today with limited time free shipping at mycarpet.com.
Non-attorney spokesperson. This is a paid advertisement for legal services sponsored by Nightline Legal. Cases assigned on a random basis to participating law firms. Attention parents. If your child was born premature and later diagnosed with necrotizing enterocolitis, also known as NEC, call right now. You may be entitled to financial compensation. Certain types of baby formulas have been linked to an increased risk of newborns developing NEC, a severe and potentially fatal intestinal illness that oftentimes requires surgery. If your child was born premature or at a low birth weight and later diagnosed with necrotizing enterocolitis, the baby formula your child was fed may be to blame, and you may be entitled to significant compensation from the manufacturer. Call right now to find out if you qualify. Don't be a victim. Get the help you deserve. There are time deadlines to file a claim, so don't wait. Call right now.
Call 1-800-320-4817. That's 1-800-320-4817.
Welcome back to Amplified. You know that saying that a picture is worth 1,000 words? That certainly rings true for my next guest.
You know, I've done the red carpet for many, many years, from the Golden Globes to the Grammys to the Oscars, the whole thing. And it's been just a lot of fun and a lot of creative fun. Movie posters, you name it. Just anything I get in my head, I just go for it, right? And it wasn't until the situation happened with George Floyd back in 2019, and I just felt like, or 2020, and I felt like I needed to make a change. I needed to get involved in some way, shape, or form. And it was a situation where, you know, my family protested, I protested, we just got involved, and we were just so passionate about the making a noise in terms of injustice and trying to find, equality in terms of, what had happened to George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, Trayvon Martin, the list goes on. So I wanted to use my platform, Toddwood, to find a way to, make a difference and educate kids and adults of, civil rights heroes. So Toddwood Engineered Equality is a series of about 30 images of civil and social rights heroes, past and present, but created with kids. And it's educational, and it's just powerful, and it's just something that's been dear to my heart.
So I'm looking at those cool pictures that we just had going across the screen, and I realized that Cameron Keat is one of the young men in your shoot there. I was actually college roommates with his mother, so I know his mother very well. Explain the casting process and what it was like, and what you were looking for to really honor such trailblazers and Black figures.
Oh, that's awesome. Yes, that's awesome. So the casting call normally is, I put out a post on social media in all these different areas, and with this one, usually people get really excited because it's red carpet, it's glamour, and all that stuff, right? This one, I think it hit closer to home for most of the parents. They really wanted their kids to not only be involved in something about creating the vision of change making, but also to inform and educate their children. So I put the post out there, and I've had, I want to say, about 3,000 children or parents of children.
I think I might have lost her there, but we're going to have her come back. We'll have Trisha, if we can get her back up, Trisha Mesereau. I got to tell you, this photo shoot is super awesome to me, because there's nothing like being able to have kids learning while they're doing. And so many of these kids who participated in the shoots didn't know who these historical figures were. And so now to be able to be like, who are you dressed as? That's always the thing. We just came off of Halloween. Who are you dressed as? And to have a real narrative and story to tell about that is super cool. Sit tight. I'm going to come right back. I will be back here.
Theo was saying.
Alexa, play the one that goes, dance with the boogie, get down. Okay.
Theo is saving big holiday shopping at Amazon. So now, he's free to become thoughtful Theo. And he's got a gift for everyone. So thoughtful.
Born without borders. Tecate Alta. Low calories. Low carbs. La Cerveza Suprema. Our roots run deep and broad. We are drawn together to enjoy the best of both worlds. Tecate Alta. Low calories, low carbs, beyond expectation. Mexico is in us.
Senator Kirsten Sinema knows that effective leadership means standing for principle and purpose. She doesn't go along with the pack just because it's politically convenient. She fights for bipartisan solutions that serve Arizonans' best interests. Infrastructure, building up Arizona, healthcare, the environment. Senator Sinema is tackling complex problems head-on and consistently doing what it takes to get the job done. We stand with Senator Sinema because she stands for and with us.
There's brighter days ahead, and I know.
Shop Black Friday deals all week at Target. Get Mario Kart 8 Deluxe free with Nintendo Switch. And save on select kitchen appliances, Lego, and more. With new deals starting Thursday at Target.
I am back with Trisha Mesereau, who does these amazing photographs with kids, staging them with historical figures. I'm glad that you're back with me. I actually wanted to know if there was a shoot that really stuck out to you, and which one was your favorite?
Okay, I'm so glad to be back. I was going to do a wardrobe change, but, I leave that to Diana Ross. So the most, I want to say the image that was most iconic, they were all fantastic. Harriet Tubman was one that stands out, Nelson Mandela, but the one that stood out the most to me was Representative John Lewis. That one stood out the most to me because I was determined, and this was the year that he passed away, and I was determined to get it right. I want to get them all right, but we actually flew out to Alabama, and we flew out the little boy and his mom to Alabama, and we shot right there on the Edmund Pettus Bridge, and we just wanted to make sure that we just got the most authentic And just having that little boy there, and, you know, I told him to practice his speech because we recorded his speech, and he delivered it so passionately. It's as if it was like a mini John Lewis right in front of my eyes. It was the most, literally goosebumps. It was amazing.
Wow. So what have the kids been telling you that they learned from participating?
The interesting thing is I have 30 images, and I want to say maybe 28 of the kids had no idea who their person was. You know, most of the kids just had no idea. You know, we look at Black History Month, you know, it's just 1 month, right? Hello. And, you know, you go into the school system and they talk about slavery and they talk about Dr. Martin Luther King, and those are the only two places that they focus on, you know? And lots of times, some of the kids, the Black kids, they go home a little embarrassed because it's all this slavery talk all the time, but they don't talk about the heroes. They don't talk about who made a difference, who created change, so that they can sit in the classroom with the white boys and the Asian boys and the Hispanic girls and they don't talk about those people, you know. They may occasionally mention Rosa Parks, but the other folks, they have no idea. So it was mind blowing how these kids, and I told these kids, don't come to my shoot just thinking it's a photo shoot. Who you're representing. So they came, and their parents made sure they came. Miss Trish, I have a speech for you. Miss Trish, I have a poem for you. Absolutely, let me hear it.
Oh, I love that so much. It's about giving kids pride in identity too, and that's the thing that I think education just robs us of when we talk about Black history. You grew up in Boston, and I'm just curious, you know, Boston's a storied city around race relations. How did your upbringing influence your photography?
Very interesting. So as I'm going through this, it was a learning process for me too. So I have to say, I was I made history actually in Boston. I was the first Black girl to attend my elementary school, but Black person to attend my elementary school. I was surrounded by just white folks. All my friends were white. I might have had 1 or 2 Black friends by family. And, you know, I just didn't know much. I really didn't. So I was in that classroom learning about slavery, and when they talked about slavery, everyone's looking at me, you know. So I didn't know that there was there was a Colette. I didn't know there was a you know, Mary. You know, I didn't know any of these